Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to take up the poem A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. This has been taken from the book Flamingo, Class 12. The poem has been written by John Keats. John Keats was a British romantic poet who was born in London on 31st October 1795. Although he died at a very young age of just 25, he had perhaps the most remarkable career of any English poet. So, romantic poets, children, define poetry as the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, and it takes its origin from emotion recollected in tranquility. So basically, this kind of poetry refreshes the reader. To Keats, Greece was the land of freedom, art, and literature. The myths of Greek opened up a new land of beauty and romance for him. This particular poem, A Thing of Beauty, by him, is an excerpt that has been taken from his first ambitious work, Endemian, which was published in 1880. According to Greek mythology, Endymion was a young shepherd who lived on Mount Latmos. So he had a vision of Cynthia, who was the moon goddess. So this enchanted youth resolved to seek her admiration and therefore wandered away through the forest and down under the sea. Children, as he is in love, he finds beauty in whatever he sees. So now in the next slide, we are going to interpret the title, A Thing of Beauty. Now let us interpret this title. Now beauty can refer to anything that you find beautiful. It can be a smiling child, a mother's face, flowers, sun, moon, your friend, anything that is, artistic, architecture, paintings, even a kind gesture of your fellow human beings. So basically, a thing of beauty is captured in your mind and heart, and you have the power to relive that moment, and by doing so, it calms you, it refreshes you, it rejuvenates you, and you feel good. So that was the interpretation of the title. Now let us introduce this particular poem and then go on to the recitation and explanation of the same. This poem, children, is an allegorical poem. Allegory. What is an allegory? An allegory is a story or a poem or even a picture which can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one. So we can say that it is an allegorical poem. All right. The poem starts. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases. It will never pass into nothingness. So the poet starts with this beautiful line, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. So the poet says that a thing of beauty is an eternal source of happiness. When we behold a thing of beauty, it fills our heart with joy. Its loveliness increases, it will never pass into nothingness. So beauty is timeless, beauty is everlasting, it does not fade away. On the contrary, its beauty enhances, its beauty increases with the passage of time. So it will not fade away. Instead, it will increase with the passage of time. But will keep a bower quiet for us, and a sleep full of sweet dreams, and health, and quiet breathing. So here the poet says that beauty is soothing, beauty is calming like a leafy shelter. So the beauty has been compared to a leafy shelter. So this is a metaphor here. You can just note it down. This is a metaphor for us, and a sleep that is full of sweet dreams. So he says that beauty heals and radiates peacefulness. Okay, quiet for us, when he says quiet for us, it means peacefulness. Quiet refers to peacefulness. It gives you peacefulness, peace of mind. It is an escape from the harsh realities of life and lulls us into a sleep full of sweet dreams. So, the enchantment of beauty ensures our well being. Yes, good health. Health here refers to your well being, physical as well as mental. So the beauty refreshes our parched souls. The beauty rejuvenates our parched souls. And when it refreshes you, it refreshes your soul, it automatically gives you good sleep, good health, and quiet breathing. Now, it is quite interesting for all of us to note here that romantic poets, and especially when we are talking of John Keats here, John Keats was of the belief that man is inextricably intertwined with nature. You know, you can memorize these lines. This will really help you in most of your answers from this poem, because this is also one of the themes of this poem, that man is inextricably intertwined with nature and the loveliness of nature captivates man. The beauty rejuvenates our parched souls. Therefore, on every morrow are we wreathing a flowery band to bind us to the earth. So, in these lines, the poet says, therefore, on every morning, on every day, or you can say every day, every morning, we surround ourselves. Okay, so the beauty, we surround ourselves with a flowery band. So try to understand here one thing: the objects of beauty, according to the poet, the objects of beauty are just like the wreaths of beautiful flowers. Okay, this again a metaphor. This flowery band that we weave each morning keeps us attached to the beauties of nature. So, as I just told you, that Keats was a true romantic poet. So, a true romantic poet, as a true romantic poet, he feels that man has a strong relationship with nature. Man is intertwined to this earth despite the gloom and misery. So the band that ties man with nature, so the band, I'm repeating, the band that ties man with nature is not of iron chains, but it is a delicate, fragile, flowery band. Thus, beauty keeps us happy and cheerful in our even hard times. And every day, we try to find something beautiful to keep ourselves rejuvenated, something that will bring joy to us as well as people around us. Spite of despondence, of the inhuman dearth, of noble natures, of the gloomy days, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways made for our searching. So here despondence means hopelessness. Inhuman dearth of noble natures, here it refers to lack of human values. You see, there is cruelty all around and there is lack of good natured people. Unhealthy and over darkened ways, children, refers to the selfish and evil ways and made for our searching. Here the word searching is not to be confused with, looking for something or actually literally searching something. No, it is not to be confused with looking for something. It basically refers to our doings. So the word searching, if in an exam you are asked if you are asked to explain the word searching, you will say searching refers to our doings, our darkened and unhealthy ways that come in front of us. So I'll just quickly explain this. The poet in these lines says that despite the sense of hopelessness that surrounds us, we continue to love life because beauty lifts our spirits. and removes all the darkness and sorrow. In spite of the moral degradation and shortage of good people, in spite of the dark and evil ways that cause us unhappiness, some form of beauty moves in our midst and lifts our spirits. So this particular part, some form of beauty moves in our midst and lifts our spirits, this basically is not given here, it is given in the next lines. But since we have to connect these two, I explained this here. I will be explaining this in the next slide again. So made for our searching, let us look at this in detail. Now it means searching refers to, this is something which is happening because of our doings. Searching refers to doings. Whose doings? Our doings. Our darkened and unhealthy ways come in front of us. You see, life is full of trials and tribulations. There is loss of faith, there is hopelessness, there is disappointment. And the poet tries to say here that some of this, okay, some of this hopelessness, some of this disappointment may be a result of our own making. And it is only beautiful things that sometimes make life worthwhile. All right? Yes, in spite of all, some shape of beauty moves away the pall from our dark spirits. So here the poet says, in spite of the moral degradation that has taken place, in spite of the shortage of good people, in spite of the dark and evil ways that cause us unhappiness, some form of beauty will move in our midst and lifts our spirits. So basically, he wants to emphasize again upon the same thing, that beauty renews our faith, it rejuvenates us and takes away the darkness from our spirits. Such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and clear rills that with themselves make a cooling covert make. 'Gainst the hot season, the mid-forest brake rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. Alright, so I want you to really observe the various images that have been portrayed here by the poet. So the poet draws the images of the glory and uplifting beauty of nature, the sun, the moon, the young and old trees that are a blessing to the timid and harmless sheep. Please understand, the simple sheep here refers to, it symbolizes innocent beauty, okay, or mankind. This is a biblical allusion. I'll come to this explanation of simple sheep. What is this biblical allusion that Keats has used? We will come to it in the next slide. We'll discuss this in detail. As they seek shelter in the shady groves, the daffodils that grow in the lush and dense greenery, the crystal clear streams, okay, rills refers to these clear streams that find a secret and hidden nook to cool themselves in the hot sun. So what is this mid-forest break refers to the thick bushes of forest fern, FER fern, where beautiful fragrant musk rose blooms. These are the facets of nature that are beautiful. So please understand that this beauty of nature, the poet has drawn these beautiful images of nature. Nature is at its best in the lush green surroundings of meadows and pastures, and it is in this green world that all living creatures find true happiness and joy. Now, musk rose, children, refers to those wild flowers which bloom on their own, okay? And clear rills, please understand, the streams keep themselves cool. Why do they keep themselves cool? Because they want to provide this coolness to others, all right? So, in these lines, the poet wants to say that nature or God, they do not discriminate. It is only the man, the man discriminates. Nature just does not discriminate between his people. So the poet has used this biblical allusion here when he talks of simple sheep. What is an allusion? Just try to understand. It is an indirect reference, all right? So if in exam you get this sheep imagery, if you get these particular lines to answer, you must write this, that this is a biblical allusion which has been used by the poet John Keats. Jesus Christ is considered a shepherd who is surrounded by his flock of sheep, or as they are called, followers. So this sheep imagery, children, is taken to symbolize that divine beauty and innocence, like mankind, for whom the objects of nature are a boon. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. So according to the poet, there is beauty in noblemen and women who have lived since time immemorial. The greatness with which great people die, that is the grandeur of the dooms of the mighty dead. Mighty dead, children, you may note, write down, this is an oxymoron. The mighty dead are the great people who have given their lives for the cause of humanity. Why are they mighty? They are mighty for a reason. Why? What is the reason? Children, it is more difficult to die for others than living for oneself. So they are in the same way beautiful as the daffodils and those young and old trees. So they provided happiness to others just like the clear rills, and they burned for others like the sun. So the beauty of their grand lives immortalizes them. Even in their death, they are remembered and are not doomed to oblivion. Their greatness inspires us and fills our heart with an overwhelming joy, elation, and pleasure. All lovely tales that we have heard or read, an endless fountain of immortal drink, pouring unto us from the heavens' brink. So, in these above lines, the poet says that there are numerous beautiful things to notice and enjoy. He refers to the truly beautiful stories that we have either heard or read. And these beautiful tales are beautiful. Why are these tales beautiful? They are beautiful because they have left an unforgettable happiness in us. And each time we recall these stories, we feel our problems lifted, mind refreshed, and life moving smoothly in spite of all disturbances. A fountain of immortal drink provides us immortality. Similarly, reading and attending to real beautiful stories, what does it do? It fills our minds and hearts with joy. So there are numerous beautiful things to notice. They seem to flow immortally like a fountain. So this is again a metaphor, like an endless fountain that flows from the heavens above. These gifts of beauty enrich and adorn our lives. Okay, so this refers to basically the unending beauty of nature. So that was the explanation of the poem A Thing of Beauty by John Keats. Now let us quickly recapitulate. These are some of the poetic devices that have been used in the poem: metaphor, imagery, symbolism, simple sheep, okay. Alliteration is also there at a few places. Oxymoron, mighty dead was an oxymoron. So these are some of the poetic devices that the poet has used in this poem. The rhyme scheme is AABB. The poem is again an allegory, as I told you in the beginning, and it talks of how human soul is in search of perennial beauty. It is based on a Greek legend, and this poem is an excerpt from his first ambitious work, that was Endemian. And the theme is anything that is beautiful provides us an unending, everlasting, and eternal joy. The loveliness of anything beautiful does not fade away. In fact, these numerous beautiful things seem to flow immortally as a fountain from the gods above, to help pitiable human beings to deal with the harshness of life. So, nature is the highest form of beauty that constantly provides us comfort. So, the message, if you look at it, the message is contained in the very first line of the poem. That is, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. It depicts the effect of beauty on a person's soul. It creates a joy that is permanent. Beauty decreases the effect of negativity, which is the result of life's dark and gloomy aspects. Beauty relieves us from being crushed by worldly worries and tensions. A true romantic poet, Keats believes in the healing power of nature and man's link with it. The beauties of nature remove the pall of sadness and provide joy and happiness that never fades away. So that was all, children. Thank you.